So, a different guest for this week's Friday interview. Co-owner Terry Casey joins us on this occasion. And Terry, obviously, just over a week ago, the glorious FA Cup run came to an end. 8 games in that competition, the furthest the club had ever gone. As someone who, as a co-owner of the club, you must be absolutely thrilled with how that campaign went.
Yeah, it was absolutely magical from start to finish. I was at Steyning when this whole adventure started, and I was noticing in their programme notes for Steyning Town Community Football Club, the biggest day of their lives was to have Maidstone United down there for that match, and for them it was like a great big jamboree. And then Ipswich, where it came full circle really. It was probably our biggest match ever in the history of Maidstone United, and then Coventry was even bigger, I suppose, because the prize of going into the quarter-final was massive. So yeah, that is the magic of the FA Cup. I know it's a cliche, but it is the magic of the FA Cup that Steyning Town got to play such big shots like Maidstone United, and then Maidstone United got to play the big shots like Coventry and Ipswich Town. So it's been a wonderful adventure. It really has. I've pretty much enjoyed every step of the way, except we did go to Torquay and got absolutely battered, so we could have lost down there quite easily. But I think it's been a wonderful experience.
Great results we've had along the way, some surprise results as well, playing in front of 27,000. I mean, it's just been an absolutely incredible experience. Any particular highs that really stand out for you over that 8-game run?
Yeah, it's got to be Lamar's goal. Sadly, I watched it again this morning, so I really must get out more, because to me, that was the most amazing moment in I was going to say in my life, but I'll stick it to my football career, because my life sort of has other things going on. But in terms of watching Dooku head it to Liam Sowell hitting it first time, and then Lamar with a world-class goal, I would be watching that when I'm in a retirement home in 25 years' time, because it was just a wonderful moment. It seems to eclipse Sam's winner, which is odd really, but it was just the fact that we weren't expecting it. It was just such a shock after, I don't know how many minutes, were 38 minutes or something like that he scored the goal. But at the end of the game, I mean, we left the stadium, and people I was walking down the street with, they said, I still don't think we're going to win this game at Ipswich. And we watched the highlights the next day, and the same feeling, sort of, we were really tense as Ipswich were attacking again and again and again. And why were we tense? We'd already won the game. So, Lamar's goal was the absolute standout, extraordinary moment for us. But there was loads more, though, having said that.
A lifetime's worth of memories creating that cup run. Another offshoot of that, of course, has been the media exposure. I mean, never before, we thought back in September at Steyning that we'd be on Radio 4, Radio 5, BBC National News, Sky Sports News, all that. It really has put the club on the map, not just in this country as well, but in George's native Cameroon, in the United States, New Zealand, Canada. It really has gone global. The
name is out there. We've had lots of nice things said about us as a football club, that we're still a football club that sustains itself. We try and run on a proper business model. There's no great big sugar daddies in the background pumping money in. It was the exposure's been wonderful, and it's been very positive for the future of the club as well. So that's been good. I mean, the exposure, on the other hand, of course, the worry was that George Elokobi would be too impressive when he was doing all his interviews, but as we've signed him now, so that's not such a worry.
I guess everyone would look, the cup one was great, the results, the moments, the memories. People often look after the event at what the legacy of that will be, and I guess that will come out in terms of the prize money that the club won, and in terms of the broadcast fees as well. So, how do you see that income providing that legacy in the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years?
Yeah, I think that the income has been absolutely vital. It's been crucial. It couldn't have happened at a better time. But I suppose the real legacy is those memories that you talk about. That's the real legacy that will go on for 5, 10, 15, 20 years, where people will remember Ipswich and remember the trips up to Coventry, and the 4,000 and 5,000 people that have come up to support us. So that's the emotional legacy. The hard-nosed practical legacy is we really did need that money this year, and with the pitch is the big issue. The pitch is going to cost us £250,000 to put down. We were working out ways to do it. We were going to do it. It was going to happen. And then all the other big projects that we've undertaken as well. We've got, well, it's not very sexy. We've got toilets going in at the town end, and we've got the gantry, and we've got the new control tower, and all those types of things are all major capital projects which come out of our profit. And of course, the profit we've made, the cup run must have yielded 800,000. We haven't got all the figures in, but it must be knocking up to 800,000, because it looks good at 800,000, but then you still have to pay tax on it. So it's not really 800,000 because we'll be paying corporation tax on the profits. So that diminishes it slightly. Then all the projects that I've been talking about, that reduces it as well. But what it does, it gives us that, from my personal point of view, gives us that amazing bit of stability and that financial security that just makes us feel a little bit better when we're preparing George's playing budget for next year. We're not going to be stretching ourselves. We're going to work within our profit levels of this year. But yeah, that's the financial legacy. It's a dividend of the FA Cup. It's both emotional and financial.
A good way, as you say, with that investment going into the pitch, for example, that will give normally have a 5 to 7 year shelf life, those pitches. So again, all the junior teams that enjoy playing on there, all the cup finals we host, etc., that FA Cup money will at least go into providing that facility for the foreseeable.
Well, it secures our future in that respect, that aspect of the business for the next 5 years, because of course the pitch hire alone generates us about £150,000 a year profit. So that in itself gives us that amount of security by putting the new pitch down. So yeah, that is all part of that element of long-term security that football clubs don't always have. We don't. After last year, we had that loss that we had to make up, and that comes into it. That we got everything that could have gone wrong went wrong last year. We were suffering under the legacy of that for a little while this season until of course we beat Ipswich, and then things looked a lot different. But yeah, it's our future is really secure. It's very solid. It's always been a solid and good business, but this year even more so.
Great season so far. 6 weeks of the season to go. What are your hopes for these next few weeks?
Well, minimum is make the playoffs. Absolute minimum. Now we've got the gantry. Because the gantry, we couldn't have gone into the playoffs without having the TV gantry. So that's up and running. There's no reason why we can't make the playoffs. We've got a squad that's good enough, I think, and we've got a run in of matches where we are going to be tested against most of the other playoff contenders, and yeah, I think the very minimum is playoffs, and then hopefully get home draws in the playoffs. That would be icing on the cake to bring the teams back here where we can, get 3,500, maybe 4,000 people watching. So yeah, that's the ambition, and then if God forbid we get to the National League, then we got to do it right this time. So we know what the challenges are, and we're already looking at players for next year, and we're looking at players that are good enough for the National League. So we're clearly ambitious.
Well, Terry, thanks very much for your time, and we'll catch up again soon. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you.